What is going on, everybody? It is episode 687 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Today, I am doing as promised. I'm wearing my Ushanka, I think that's what it's called, instead of my headphones. So I'm not zoned in right now. Doing the show without my headphones always like throws me off my game.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't even do that like when I'm doing like appearances at home and I have to put headphones in my ears.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have to.
It's like a trigger right now.
It forces
like it's an MK Ultra trigger.
It forces me
to content create. So I'm not in my content creation mode right now, but I'm probably going to take it off after we're done with like the intro because it's uncomfortable.
So what you're saying is like once you put the headphones back on, you're like, is it a boom or a doom?
This is really soft.
Double chunk chocolate cookie.
This is real alpaca fur. It's very soft. So I'm just going to be petting my hat
the whole day
for as long as I'm wearing it.
Okay. Well, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, guys. It's going to be a chill Friday. It's just the two of us here, and thank you all so much for joining us. But it's going to be a fun one. We got a lot of stuff to get into, but before we do that, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the video with your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people you like, the people you don't like, everyone in between. The more people you share it with, the faster that shows like this can grow, because those people then hopefully see the videos and share it with their friends. It's a whole thing. So go ahead and do that. Remember that all super chats $20 and over, we will interrupt the discussion and we will read those super chats right then and there, and then we will do our very best to get back on topic. So what do we got to get into today on this very chill Friday afternoon? Well, first things first, we saw this story earlier in the week. Apparently there was there's a contract for a fake PR relationship between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce that went viral because somebody seemed to catch a picture of this supposed contract.
Yes, from Travis Kelce's PR agency, Full Scope. And no one knows where it came from, which is also suspicious. No one knows who posted it originally, but it caught fire really quickly. And on that contract, it states Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are supposed to break up publicly on September 28th. So I guess we're going to find out whether it's real at the end of the month.
Okay, let's face it here. There's going to be some world event that's going to happen on that day that the government is going to try and cover up, and they're going to do the breakup. It's going to be a
distraction operation. Yeah,
it's going to be a false flag.
It sounds like a setup.
I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe that's the day that World War III starts and nobody knows because Taylor and Travis broke up that day.
That's going to be World War III or 9/11 for a lot of people, actually.
We were in Frederick over the weekend, and look, going through the shops in Frederick, I fit in exactly 0%.
Why?
It's not for me. It's like
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's like Olivia wants to go to a lot of like stores that sell candles and
I knew you were gonna say candles, and I didn't want to say it.
Stores that I don't go to, but also stuff that sells like crafts and art supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was one of them. It was like it looked like a Joanne Fabrics threw up inside of a rag stock, threw up inside of some sort of like quasi personal craft market. And on one, you know the candle I have over there, you can't see it, of like religious Tom Cruise
icon.
There was a Taylor Swift one, and then there was a Travis Kelce one, and that Travis Kelce one wouldn't exist if not for that relationship.
For sure, because people are only buying the Travis Kelce candle as a pair with the Taylor Swift candle, and like it or not, Travis Kelce is the one who got a boost from that relationship.
So we will talk about that.
And the NFL fans are going to be pissed off that I said that, but it's true.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, I've never felt more out of place than going into shops like that. I'm just like walking around, like I'm literally just walking because my feet are below me.
They're spitting in your direction every time you pass by. You're not enough of a hippie.
Basically. So we're going to talk, not enough of like I don't think of it as a hippie. It's like NIMBY city liberal.
Actually, yes. Yeah, that's definitely the vibe.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, like, we were going through all these shops and there was just one that like all of them had like hate has no place here signs. And then one that just had...
I'm so glad you posted that up on the front of your shop, because otherwise I would have thought that that hate was
Belonged
welcome
here,
here, and I wouldn't. I mean, then that would mean I couldn't go in.
But I laughed because then we went by one that just said no solicitors, keep out. I was like, good for them. Like, stand up for your like individualist values. Don't give in to this hive mentality.
Yeah.
There's 2 20s there.
Joshua French said, "We are all Ruskies now. Russia hoax 3.0. It's Russia, Russia, Russia."
Yep.
The Manic Mustache said, "Super not random, but apropos to eugenics." I don't know if I want to finish this. Brother Billy got the permits for his red battle panda breeding program. Battle pandas incoming. Let us go.
I'm telling you, make a
Not
TV
let's go. Let us go.
Remember battle toads? Make
what?
battle pandas. I'll show you some. I'll show you
don't know
some
what battle
pictures
toads-
later. That was a thing. Battle toads. So thank you guys so much for that. But yes, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. What else? Will Ferrell has a new Netflix documentary coming out.
Yeah, he is proclaiming to the whole world that he is not trans, but he has a friend who is. And he is being a very virtuous ally to the trans community. And he's going to offer everybody a guidebook on how to be a perfect ally to trans people.
Well, we're gonna talk about
Really
that.
scraping the bottom of the barrel with that one.
And also, guys, of course, we are going to do our review for Beetlejuice. Of course, you know that after the sequel to Beetlejuice being called Beetlejuice, I had to say more than 3 at a time so that it wouldn't trigger anything. You know what the next one's going to be called if they make a third one, of course. Beetlejuice.
Will they?
We'll have to wait and see.
Will they do it?
So we will be doing that review here today, guys. But what we'll do is we'll put it towards the end of the show because in case a lot of you look, it's box office is looking high. It's going to open to over 100 million.
Good crowd in the theater with us.
So it's going to open to over $100 million. It looks like there's probably people in the audience that are going to go see it. So we will save that review towards the end of the show.
There's not much to spoil.
No,
anyway.
No. I mean, it's gonna be fun. It'll be fun to talk about because look, I was very passionate about how awful The Crow was, because I have, a certain level of attachment to the 1994 Crow film. I think it was 94. I have no such attachment to Beetlejuice. So we'll get into it. It's more chill. So if you're ready, we can just get started. You ready?
I'm so ready for our chill episode.
Da.
We're so relaxed.
Okay. All right. We will keep it that way. First things first, Barack Obama's lying again. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea if he's lying.
He's a liar.
He's a liar. Let's go ahead and listen to this clip. I'm just kidding,
So they
guys.
challenged him on his true standing of brat.
I don't think they did. He's more calling out the royal we, meaning like the royal internet. People being like, people claim I don't listen to the music that I put in my playlists. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Had it or hit it, Brat Summer.
Hit it. I just put out my playlist, and 365 is on it, and it is a great album. So people question sometimes whether I'm actually listening to all this music. As I've testified before, I am. Charlie XCX, she knows what she's doing.
Why is he like a robot? Sorry, we have a 20 from Boosted Yogi. If Will Smith's comeback is coming out as trans, I may just have to end it. No, we were talking about Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Will Smith is not coming out as trans.
I didn't say Smith. I said Ferrell, right?
Yeah, it was Ferrell.
Okay.
I think we were clear on that.
Okay.
No one is coming out as trans. It's fine.
I like that I like in the back of my mind that there's a world where Barack Obama is like sitting in his mansion at like 3 a.m. on Twitter, like on alt accounts, pushing back on people who tell him he doesn't listen to the music that he says he does.
Yeah, he's like complaining about it to Michelle.
Yeah.
She just can't hear enough of it. But that was a very robotic response.
It wasn't the same level of charisma he usually has, or
seems tired.
that he used to have. He looks a little tired. He's
Sounding
like,
tired.
He's like, look, every interview I do, they say that I don't listen to Charlie XCX. You don't know me.
Well,
You know me, but you don't know my story.
I think that in a recent interview, Taylor Swift was asked about her opinion of Charlie XCX because of the fact that Charlie wrote a song that was kind of dissing her.
Okay.
And her answer was the most media trained, like very politically neutral.
Taylor Swift's answer.
Yeah, her answer was like, she just, takes songs into places that you wouldn't expect. And she's just been like at it for so many years. So it's great to see that.
That's the answer I would give.
That's
the answer I would give.
Basically saying, yeah, she's been a flop for about a decade, but it's great that she's finally getting some attention.
Here's my dregs.
Yeah, like you're my sloppy second.
Well, not even that. So, like, if the idea here is that one artist had to be like the voice of the election, they're like, they went to Taylor Swift first. No, Beyonce's like, nah, no thanks. They're like,
it's like
fine.
Charlie's over here like, hey, I'm still here. I'm
do it.
British, but I'm still here.
There's a 20 there from Boosted, or is that it just show up late? Yeah,
Will
just show.
Smith?
Okay, no,
Yeah, we got
sorry.
that one.
It showed up on the chat late there.
Yeah, we're good.
The YouTube's is behind today. All right,
their
so he's sounding tired, and he doesn't sound as polished as he normally does.
And you know what? I don't believe him. It was curated by a gay intern.
There you go. All right, this is I'm interested to hear your opinion on this. This is a very like Hollywood-esque scandal, meaning that it's about as safe as something like this can be for what is considered drama.
Wait, how is there drama? There's no drama.
Okay, so Whoopi Goldberg says that this is a really bad idea.
What?
Yes, having Anna Delvey on Dancing with the Stars.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep.
So, in case you guys were unaware, Anna Delvey is an extremely iconic, basically a female white-collar criminal. And she got out of prison, I think this was last year.
Yeah.
And she's been on house arrest ever since, and still has an ankle monitor, which is extremely chic.
Who is the Enron dude? Is that
I don't remember his
like
name.
Are the male criminals going to then appear on Dancing with the Stars too?
I mean, that's like a criminal empire, but what Anna Delvey was doing was just like defrauding hotels and defrauding her friends in like very subtle, imperceptible ways that got caught up to her over time. They made a Netflix show about her starring Julia Garner, and I thought that show was really well done.
Yeah, you liked it a lot.
Her friend that she defrauded wrote a book about the whole thing. It was such a clout chasing moment.
Probably made her money. Well, she's trying to get her money back.
Yeah, she had to recoup her funds. But now Anna Delvey is trying to make her comeback into the public eye, being known as a criminal now. And she's going on Dancing with the Stars with her ankle monitor on. And why does Whoopi Goldberg have a problem with this? Why is she
This is what she says. I pulled it up here. It says, Whoopi Goldberg slams Dancing with the Stars for casting convicted felon Anna Delvey. She says, what the hell, man?
What's the problem?
She says, I think back to all the families who have had family members arrested by ICE who have gone to the courts to get their dad or their mother or their brother back, she said. And this woman, they gave her permission to go do this. Now, should I think there's a reason? Is there a two-tiered system of justice with ICE?
I'm sorry. How is
She turned it into an immigration
how
thing.
the F is this related to ICE?
Because she was it says the critiques come a day after
okay.
she announced that the news broke that she was given clearance by
yes,
U.S.
okay.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
So Whoopi
to do the
thinks
show.
that there is a double standard of enforcement for Anna Delvey, not only because she is famous now, but also because she's white.
Yes.
Which is her saying it without saying it out loud.
Correct.
That's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I will defend her forever because I think that, like, as long as the person is only guilty of financial crimes, like, I'm willing to stand.
That depends to me. Like,
Depends on the level
If you're
that it got to?
defrauding some poor lady's pension, no, I don't think
Okay,
so.
I'm thinking about examples like obviously her, but also Elizabeth Holmes, who founded
Theranos lady.
Theranos, and I don't think that you could really be. You can't really justify a personal vendetta against those people. Like, they're just crazy.
Yeah, like, to me, it's more about, who the people were. Look, it's very easy for people to say the same thing. I read this thread yesterday. It was talking about this guy posted a tweet where a guy had a sign at his local business. He says, please don't steal from me. Go steal from Walmart. And then the guy breaks down, like, what happens when you steal excessively from Walmart, right? It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to operate a Walmart a day. Eventually theft becomes too much. First, they try locking up all the items If that doesn't work, eventually they start laying off employees, and eventually the store shuts down, and Walmart can eat that loss. They can go open another store, but it's a whole bunch of people in the local community that end up out of a job, and people who don't necessarily drive are out of a place to shop and do business. So it really is a matter of how far down the line of goods, services, and voluntary transaction do you want to go before you say it's okay to celebrate that person?
At this point, now you have Netflix and Julia Garner to blame for glamorizing this person and her crimes.
Look, and we're going to be talking about a movie today that doesn't go out of its way to hide
its association with a convicted
child PDF file. So we're going to have to make your judgments on all of that stuff. That's something we had to think about when we were watching that movie.
You know, when you think about examples like that and you put it into the grand scheme of things, you put it in relative terms, Anna Delvey doesn't seem so bad.
It's not Chris Benoit. It's not a child.
She took her friend's credit card, her friend who already was like a wealthy journalist living in Manhattan, by the way. She took her friend's credit card, and then her friend made it into this gigantic sob story where she got a book deal out of it.
I am one of the people who thinks that, like, I've been watching a lot of movies and television for a long time, and there's 30 years of propaganda of saying it's okay as long as you're stealing from rich people. They can afford it. And what you get...
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying that, like, it's along the same lines and how people will interpret it.
Okay, what I'm saying is the friend essentially gave her the credit card. She's not guilty. I don't think she is guilty of stealing it because her friend, by her own admission, gave her money to use, to spend. And it wasn't even her own money. It was a company credit card.
I mean, I was thinking more even like of like Theranos and stuff like that. Like as long as you're stealing from rich people or corporations, it's okay. But that's people who don't look past the first step of whatever they're
And even then, you're only going to know the version of events that Hollywood wrote and scripted for the public to watch as a story. It's been dramatized. So many layers have been removed, so you don't really know what happened.
The real question is, will the ankle monitor cause problems? Like they're picking her up.
Well, they asked her
and
about
she's gonna
it.
hit the dude in the shoulder with the ankle monitor. It's probably not even real. It's probably fake.
I think it's real. She still has an exemption that was only made for this. So she did an interview underneath it where she talked about the ankle monitor and what could happen with it.
What she said? What they
It's
say?
underneath this tweet.
Oh, is it this? Oh, the video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. I got it here.
The ankle monitor?
Oh yeah, that's still here.
Are you going to be bejeweling it for Dancing with the Stars?
That's gonna be Ezra's
Yeah,
job.
no, I literally brought my whole.
Like,
kit
who is
with
this
me.
guy?
This is the most 2024 American thing I've ever seen.
Rhinestone, that sucker.
And you'll have to wear it during the competition?
Yeah,
They're going
of
to be
course.
dazzled.
Are you officially still on house arrest with the exception of this exemption?
My house arrest got loosened, I think the first week of August, so I am allowed to travel anywhere within New York. I had to ask for the permission for the authorities for ICE to give me permission to travel out of state. Actually, I miss being on house arrest because I now have to commute and people don't come to me anymore.
Are you at all intimidated? Or
Well, just say you're still on house arrest then.
I mean, what's the worst that can
She's
happen?
very clever
Then I'm
with her
gonna arrest me for dancing badly.
Okay.
So there you have it. She's not worried about it at all. But that's the reason why Whoopi is pressed.
Yes, because of ICE.
I can't.
All right, let us move on then, shall we? So, what was it, a year ago that we talked about Shia LaBeouf possibly turning his life around and finding God?
Yeah, last year Shia LaBeouf talked about converting to Catholicism in the process of making the Padre Pio film. And everyone thought that he was getting onto a more positive track in his life. However, if this new video of a brawl on the street is any evidence to the contrary, looks like he's not doing so well. He was outside of a pub in Scotland last week. Now the video has come out. He's yelling at people, challenging all of these dudes to a fight in the streets.
That's not very Christian or very Catholic.
It's not very, mentally sane.
Nope.
Most fundamentally.
Should we watch this one here? This video
let's-
here? Okay, here we go, guys.
This is your home now. This is your friend. You know, you're from London. This is a matter of fact.
Maybe he's gonna do a boxing movie, and this is just him.
He's doing method.
That's your who's
He's always in these giant black puffers.
You managed to see the top of that one wee bit and hit one and you slipped it. Oh man, it's not harsh. Your accent.
He's like, I'm right here, bro. I'm right here.
But it's like
Threw the hat off.
generally Scottish people
He was ready to throw down.
I think he needs to go read some scripture.
Yeah, he might need to meditate for a while.
I wonder what they said. They were like, Transformers sucked. And he's like, that's
It's
not
so
on my
funny
watch.
because in some of the headlines about this, they were still saying Transformers actor
I know.
Shia LaBeouf.
Well, I mean,
Like,
that's
he's done other stuff.
yeah, but that's what he's most known for.
Gosh,
That's what he's
give him
most
a
known
break.
for. I love that movie, so he gets a pass.
The cause of the confrontation between Shia LaBeouf and the man in the video is still unclear.
I wonder what it was.
What set him off? Someone mentioned.
I'm telling you right now, they're like, man.
The sexual battery trial.
No, they're like, man, do you see who Megan Fox ended up with? You fumbled the bag.
He's like, stop. MGK is a beta male.
Leave me alone.
I can get any woman I want.
He's like, I just wouldn't drink any blood, and she dumped me.
Yeah, that was probably why.
She's like,
he
"Will
wasn't
you-"
going to engage in the rituals.
She's like, will you drink blood with me to deepen our bond? And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And she's like, well, then we're through. Oh, or maybe they were like, Megalopolis is gonna suck.
Oh, that's right. He was in Megalopolis, so
Yeah.
we're gonna see him in that. I don't know how much of it, but he was intentionally hired by Francis Ford Coppola for that purpose because he is canceled.
Yes.
That made him an attractive candidate for that movie.
I saw
And no
some,
other reason?
I saw some rough numbers. I think it said that it was going to open to like $5 million.
I mean, it depends on the kind of
Cost
release. Is it a wide release?
I don't know how wide. I don't know how many theaters it's going to open up in. I know that Beetlejuice, I think, is opening up to like the most theaters, like ever, but from a Warner Brothers movie. It's like over 4,000 theaters or something like that.
There were at least 3 showings last night when
Yep.
we were there, and
Yep.
that's for the early preview screenings,
And it was
they were
pretty
all
big.
pretty crowded.
Yeah, it was pretty
so
crowded.
it looks like it's going to do really well.
Yep. All right. So let's hope that Shia finds his way back.
Yeah, we hope Shia is okay.
All right. Let's move on. So how long ago was it that we covered Beau DeMaio? Was that like 2 weeks ago?
Gosh, I don't know. I guess so.
But we covered it about him being fired, but he
Yes.
is now pushing back on those allegations. The allegations were, of course, that he sent sexually suggestive photos under the guise of inspiration shots to male staffers on the production of X-Men 97.
Yes, so Marvel fired Beau DeMaio as the showrunner for X-Men 97, and after that happened, he intentionally suggested to his social media following that they made this decision based on homophobia because he had just recently posted a pride illustration from one of the characters in the show. That was not true, and Marvel had to come out and clear the record, saying, hey, we actually fired Beau DeMaio because of his own sexual misconduct allegations and HR investigation.
It's crazy how much bad luck Marvel has when they finally get a show that everybody likes, and then they have to fire the guy who made it.
Hiring these freaks. They don't do background checks, apparently.
Yeah, but usually they hire people that suck, and then the shows suck. They hired a guy who they had to fire, and the show was awesome. So
you said that Beau DeMaio posted a response to Marvel on his OnlyFans, on his gay OnlyFans?
a 30-minute video, they said.
That was really the move.
That was
you
the
have
move.
to pay a subscription to his porn to see his clarification video.
So I want to
30
know.
minutes
I want to
long.
know who the hell it was at Variety and the Hollywood Reporter that like writes that off as a business expense.
Yeah,
Because we had the transcript.
Someone had to do
We
it.
had the transcript from the
Yeah.
Hollywood Reporter and Variety.
Someone had to
But somebody over
take the
there was
plunge.
just like, "Look," she's like, "If that's my job, I guess take
know,
one for the team."
It expires at the end of the month, so
Exactly.
he said in the video, these allegations of egregious misconduct are false. He said these rumors and have been floating around on various sites and podcasts are lies. They are offensive, but more concerning is that they're a smear campaign designed to discredit my credibility discredit my credibility in order to cover up egregious, prejudicial misconduct stretching from select crew members on X-Men 97 all the way to the top of Marvel Studios.
In the chat, Unknown says his OnlyFans is free. Okay, well then somebody didn't have to write it off.
And
as a
he's
business,
really for
right?
the streets then. That's saying something. I mean, at least charge like the price of a quarter pounder, right?
I mean, have you seen how many of these magazines and news outlets are putting up paywalls? Come on.
Right? If you have to pay to read Forbes, you should at least pay the price of like a Big Mac to see this dude naked. Goodness gracious. And read it, like, look at his apology video. I don't know. It's not really an apology video. He's saying that there is structural homophobia at Marvel Studios. And I find that a little hard to believe given that they are
Joe
making
Locke?
queer representation part of their brand.
Yeah, it's a big deal to them.
Joe Locke is doing these interviews talking about embracing his sexuality
You know how
and
hard
being
it
a
is?
queer Marvel icon.
You know how hard it is to say Joe Locke and not say John Locke?
Actually, yeah, now that you bring it up,
Yep.
I'm reminded.
Yeah, I mean, they just did all these interviews related to Agatha, Agatha all along, talking about how Marvel is fundamentally changing, and it's not just for straight white men anymore, even though everybody knows that was never true to begin with.
I can't believe that they took the time to lay out multiple bullet points of takeaways from this video. It's insane. He alleges that his identity as a gay black man was, quote, weaponized by Marvel executives and select crew members to undermine me and use the same dog whistling stereotypes favored by bigots for decades. He's big, he's intimidating, too opinionated, angry, emotional, flamboyant, dramatic, a pervert.
I think they meant too opinionated with two O's.
Yeah, it's a little typo there.
Okay.
DeMaio alleges that he fought Marvel executives over his desire to adapt storylines from previously published X-Men comic book runs rather than create a brand new story for the show as they desired, and he was called, quote, uncollaborative, too difficult, and too much of a fanboy. They openly resented me for fighting for the fans.
I mean, honestly,
Base?
base? Like, what do you want me to do with that? Like,
So they wanted him to create all new material, but he wanted to draw upon already published material.
this is a consistent thing with these properties where they're like, would you do us a favor and like not read the source material? Right?
much.
Remember what they did? Like the lady running The Witcher was like, it was really annoying how Henry Cavill knew all about the stories for Geralt.
He kept
and like,
correcting everyone.
Yeah, and they hated that. They called him toxic for that, right?
So
that actually
DeMaio's in a similar situation here.
I mean, all he had to do was ignore the stuff about identity and make it about standing up for the fans, and he would have become an instant icon
Yes.
to people in this sphere.
But the thought of being a victim is just too scrumptious.
Too enticing.
I mean, he couldn't resist. And then he now alleges as executives painted him as abusive when he declined to have the character Jubilee, quote, make gang signs or paint the sky with plasmoids in the shape of middle fingers.
So they had different ideas about where the story was going. I do
Yeah.
remember there was like a story, a quote they were talking about in the original Crow movie where Brandon Lee pushed, like, he only asked for one change, and he didn't want what's the girl who, I forget the character's name, the one who's Micah is the one who's with Top Dollar. Like, she didn't want him to steal powers because he said it was a racist stereotype, and that was like the only request that he made, is he didn't want an Asian character stealing another person's powers.
What?
Because
How is that a stereotype?
I mean, I didn't look further into it, but that was like his one request, and that was back in like 1994.
Okay.
So they
That's
didn't want
bizarre. I mean, how is that a racial stereotype?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
In the chat, Sketch Therapy says that's ridiculous. Jubilee would not do that. So,
So he's possibly in the right. It would have helped to not be sending shirtless pics to other employees so that you could keep your credibility. But here's another believable part. He alleged there are near criminal working conditions for the VFX artists at Marvel.
I mean, that's
People who worked on X-Men 97 were, quote, rapidly losing weight and having mental breakdowns. And when he emailed Marvel leadership about these issues, he was experiencing retaliation.
he's not wrong. That's
Yeah.
a continuously proven thing that the working condition for the VFX artists at Marvel are atrocious.
There are a lot more allegations here. He alleged that he notified a producer of the show that one of our leads is having a potentially exploitative sexual relationship with a production assistant. And the producer buried his report and informed the individual in question of DeMaio's complaint.
He didn't even get the benefit of like an anonymous complaint. They're like, oh, by the way, this is the dude who was complaining about
So
you.
he got on a lot of people's bad side.
Yeah.
He also alleges the same producer repeatedly joked to the crew that he showed Bo DeMaio's thirst traps on Instagram to his underage son. And his kid is wondering, do they need to buy me shirts for Christmas?
Do you think a lot of this is just like it's impossible to prove any of this stuff?
There's a lot of he said, she said, right?
Yeah.
He alleged that an artist on X-Men 97 repeatedly denounced all men as jerks and accused DeMaio of, quote, failing the cause because he kept a male character, Cyclops, as leader of the X-Men. That's crazy.
So Marvel was more over the top than he was.
See, because he's presenting so many facts that seemingly contradict each other.
Yeah.
Not contradict each other, but they come from different perspectives and like who wants to believe them.
Yeah.
That's why it feels more believable.
Also, people like the show, so they're more willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
He alleges that a lead artist on the show told him at a company barbecue that her husband felt, I must get a lot of dick based on how I look. Who says that?
You know, you're at the Marvel barbecue. You've had one too many Bud Lights.
The vibes at the Marvel barbecue must be atrocious.
What?
Especially, this would happen in 2021. They're all like wearing their masks in between bites.
It's literally the meme of the toxic masculinity commercial where the boys are beating each other. The boys are getting beat up at the barbecue. And then there's the guy who's going to go hit on the girl, and the guy stops her and goes, "Whoa!" don't
Oh
do that."
yeah.
Was that Gillette?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's literally that.
Gosh. Okay. There's more.
More.
DeMaio requested contacting producers of RuPaul's Drag Race about promoting X-Men 97. He alleges that he was told by Marvel they wouldn't want to alienate certain audiences.
But that runs completely
There's so much
contrary.
conflicting information. So he on one hand, he's fighting for source material. He's fighting for male leads characters.
You want Cyclops to stay as the head.
But on the other hand, he's also like pushing Marvel to promote this with RuPaul's Drag Race with a bunch of drag queens, and they're telling him, no, we don't want to alienate the male audience. So there's so much conflicting information here that it almost comes off as more credible because you don't have a very uniformly accepted story.
If it was fake, it would feel more linear. and
Right?
creative.
It would feel like it made more sense narrative-wise if it were fake. He also alleges that Marvel's PR department listed, quote, homosexuality as a hot button issue to avoid alongside school shootings, the Gaza conflict, and abortion.
Again, I would have avoided those in an X-Men show too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
So I have no problem with Marvel PR being
So
like,
on one hand, I'm like, wait, maybe Bo DeMaio is in the right here, but then Marvel is also in the right on these other issues,
Marvel's
so I
like,
don't know what to think.
could you perhaps go far off into the galaxy and avoid going to the West Bank? Just asking.
DeMaio alleges that Marvel executives joked in front of him that they had hired a, quote, young Wesley Snipes to write on Blade. Quote, one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is so that you can see that Wesley Snipes and I look nothing alike. So they called him a young Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
Because he's black? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they're saying that he looks like Wesley Snipes because they're both black. So they're racist.
That's racist.
I guess. I don't know how that actually came up, so we don't know if they actually were saying it in a racist way.
How the hell would they even have a school shooting be relevant? Would they
In X-Men 97,
Would there
yeah.
be like
Or
would
abortion?
Charles Xavier's school have an active shooter? What the hell?
I guess that they had to clarify it in the first place because Bo DiMaio or other writers were pushing to include those things. And they were like putting a hard stop on that. He says the last straw for him was when he arrived at the production offices of Blade at Tyler Perry's studios in Atlanta and was told that someone needed to crack the whip around here.
Oh, so he's taking that as like something that's too close to slavery.
Crack the whip? I mean, come on. That's just a turn of phrase that people use.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they were talking about
Did you see
like,
this
slavery.
Did you see the story the other day of like the Chick-fil-A employee who
Yes, he rung up that guy's order as monkeys, the name monkeys, and it's like, you're in a drive-through line. They didn't even see you, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they can
Maybe I'm wrong.
maybe they can see him on a camera.
And like, his real name was something like Marquise, right?
Yeah, it was like Marquise.
Which over a speakerphone would easily be muffled and like sound like something else. But so many people are just like looking for their moment.
Yeah.
They're looking for their moment in the limelight, in the headlines.
Well,
to be a victim. And in some regard, this does sound like he's doing that he's being an opportunist. But in other situations, it sounds like Marvel was possibly in the wrong. So I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not a credible narrator. He's not like a reliable narrator for all of these events.
I do agree that it's too jumbled and too out of order to feel entirely fake.
Yeah. Definitely, because there are so many different groups that want to believe different parts of the story and not others.
Yeah.
So it feels a little too real.
We will continue to follow it. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about South Park.
Yeah, recently South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone did an interview with Vanity Fair in which they told interviewers that they are ignoring the election. They are not going to use the election in any of their joke writing. They have felt exhausted by the whole thing. They plan to ignore Trump. It's just been overdone, overplayed. They can't write any more jokes about the election, especially because he's, been a fixture in politics since 2016. It's actually been quite a while. So this says, in most ways, South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone are trying to look forward nearly 27 seasons in. Take Donald Trump, now running for president for a third consecutive cycle, and a subject in the long-running series. The pair tell Vanity Fair that they're about done with satirizing the Republican candidate. Quote, we've tried to do South Park through 4 or 5 presidential elections, and it's such a hard thing to do. It's such a mind scramble, and it seems like it takes outsized importance. Obviously, it's effing important, but it kind of takes over everything, and we just have less fun. I don't know what more we could possibly say about Trump. So they're sitting this one out. Decidedly. They say another reason for this is they're, quote, waiting for Paramount to figure their shit out, whatever that means.
Yeah, Paramount is going through a whole bunch of stuff with Sundance right now and ownership. So there is a bunch of stuff in the back end that actually is going on right now.
So they're possibly, they have another alibi.
Yeah.
Not just that, they decided to ignore the entire thing. But a lot of people were mad at this.
Did I say Sundance? I meant Skydance. I think I said Sundance. Okay. I meant Skydance.
A lot of people were pissed off at this, and they think it's because the South Park creators either are raging Trump supporters or they're actually secret Kamala supporters, and they're not willing to mock Kamala this time around. This person said they didn't make fun of Biden, and they wouldn't dare make fun of Kamala. South Park was always a Democrat show with specks of edginess. Is that true? They never made fun of Biden on the show?
I don't watch it anymore. I haven't watched it in quite a few seasons. So
that's surprising. I've seen more responses. They either can't or are scared to say anything about Kamala.
I mean, I'd rather they just stay away from the, like mainline politics in general. The culture war stuff is funnier anyways. Ozempic special, the Panderverse, like go to that. That's funnier to me than mainline politics.
There's plenty of material no matter what. But I mean, if it were something like SNL, it would just be expected that they use politics for their material. They don't have to.
I don't see any need to. Like, there's just other things that they could do that would be funny. But again, I'm also burnt out from all of it, and I have
You
no
were
interest.
like coming up with a concept for like the character of Mamala.
Oh yeah, they could have very easily done something with Mamala, like where she doesn't actually have any. They point out that she doesn't have any kids, and it's weird.
Yeah.
But everybody treats her like a mom. Like she's going on shows giving advice for moms, but she's not actually a mom, and everyone's wondering like, why the hell is she doing this? Like.
They probably want to feel like they're creating a show that anyone can laugh at, but that's an unattainable goal in an age where so many people decidedly don't want to laugh.
I mean, I don't even know if that's true. Like we have this discussion all the time. Like, do people who talk about the culture war on here, like we do the big channels, do they affect a movie's ability to make money, or is it just apathy? Right? Like, is it one of those things where like nobody can laugh because the culture war is one side or the other? So if you find it funny, somebody else is going to really find it unfunny? Or do normal people just not care and they'll laugh at whatever is interesting, whether it's left or right? Does that understand what I'm saying?
Okay, but when we watched the Panderverse special and they were making all of these references
that was very culture war
wokeness
specific.
And Kathleen Kennedy, it's like, I'm sorry, I thought normal people had no clue who Kathleen Kennedy is or even who Bob Iger is. These are not, honestly, I don't think they're household names to normies. So can it really appeal to them? It just was it felt very online and very niche to me. So I don't know. They're not really, if they're trying to appeal to normies, it's not working.
Yeah. I mean, the Ozempic one probably more because Ozempic is a more mainstream thing to talk about.
At this point, it's sort of like back in 2020, 2021, when you would ask each other, like, do you know anyone who's gotten it yet? Like, who's gotten COVID yet? Yeah. And now it's like everybody knows a guy who knows a guy who's on Ozempic at least.
The COVID specials did well too because that's something everybody can talk about, but that's a divisive thing to make jokes about.
Yeah. But I never watched it during that time period, so I don't know how edgy it was.
I don't have any interest in watching South Park these days, but that's just me. I enjoyed the Panderverse, but for the most part... So you would
prefer them to stay away from...
mainline politics. Yeah, I would.
Well, they might be making the right decision. I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see. All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
We can sandwich it.
Okay. All right.
We have two cringes, right?
We have, yes, I didn't see the second one until right before we went live, but I have them both here.
Okay.
Let's start with this one. This says, come to work with me for a day.
I'm gonna take my
headphones off or my hat off. Okay.
Real quick. So I can hear the cringe.
Okay. Oh yeah, you'll have to be able to hear it. All right. Hold on. Let's go and check this out here. It says, come work with me. It's a day at Google New York.
Me to New York, Google, and Chelsea. Come with me to New York, Google, and Chelsea. I did not dress business casual at all. I even had my little kitten heels on. Badged in and went straight up to the 14th floor for some lunch. Started off with some shrimp salad and it was delicious, and then some coffee, obviously. The vibe here was so much more social and so much more fun, and I kind of loved it. Got some Indian food and went outside, and then adventured the building a little bit, went into the game room. This Lego micro kitchen, amazing. Took a few apple cider vinegar and ginger shots, and they were honestly so yummy. And then a wheatgrass juice. Delicious. My intern friend from last summer. My feet are kind of killing me. Went back downstairs to get my laptop because I did have to do some work today. Then I kept adventuring a little bit and I met a few friends. And then obviously I checked out the view and was just kind of sitting out here after working. So nice. Enjoyed my little water and just sat here looking mean. So pretty. And I got a free pack of gum. Come with me.
It's literally just adult daycare. She didn't show a single shot of her working on her laptop. She was just like, okay, here's me before working, and here's me 15 minutes later after working.
Know your audience, I suppose. Nobody cares about the working. Like, you know what they need to do? Like, the 10 employees who actually do stuff need to make their own videos. It's like they get in at 6 in the morning, they leave at 10 at night, and all they do is work the whole day. Like, someone's like, you want to go get a wheatgrass smoothie? Fuck you, I got the deadline.
I mean, yeah. There are people at Google who work like that. They're just not making TikToks.
Have him make a video where like every 2 seconds somebody comes in and goes, want to go play pool? Fuck you. You want to go drink a wheatgrass smoothie? Fuck you.
Wheatgrass?
Wheatgrass.
She said
I don't know what she
wheatgrass?
said. I have no idea what she said.
Why would you want to drink a wheatgrass smoothie? Sounds gross.
She probably does make $300,000 a year. She's working in New York, so, you know.
Yeah, it must be pretty impressive.
I wonder if I could just show up and just start working and see if
Hi, I'm Bettina.
like if I just start making enough, like if I just got into the building, made some TikToks like that, and then one day I'm like, my badge doesn't work anymore. And then, oh, your name's not in our system. Maybe they can hire me.
Just scam your way to the top.
Oh.
It is infuriating. This is doing nothing for, like, I don't know. Women are never going to beat the fake laptop job allegations. This is not helping.
Look, where do you
You're not helping your
find,
case.
where the hell, is it because I didn't go to a 4-year college? That's why I can't get a fake laptop job?
Maybe.
I think that's why. I'm too dumb to have a job that requires you to be dumb.
I don't know because I didn't finish college. I didn't even get close. So I have no idea.
I just, you know, and also it's the way in which they make these videos that make them imminently hateable. It's like, oh my God, I went and did this.
Yeah. Like then I had like ginger shots, obviously.
Like what worked? Like it would be funnier if like you look at her job and she's actually like sending out who to ban. Like she's actually the person.
No, she's the one who like made Gemini.
Yes. she's actually a genius. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Okay, we've got cute
Fine.
in the middle.
Thanks, guys. That Mary just destroyed my will to live already today. That's fantastic.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Let's do this one here. This one's from Anne. It says, Emily the rat has hurt her little ankle, so spending the evening in my bed listening to PCC. We hope there will be no need for the vet.
And no need for an AirPod cane.
Yes. Thank you, Anne.
We have a 20 from Gordon Shumway. Hey, girl on Cringe. The Kardashians called. They want their shtick back. Way to not be original. This woman can reproduce and vote. We are doomed.
I would rather the Kardashians make videos like that than this lady
At least
at a
it would
tech
be
company.
honest.
At a tech company.
I honestly think that Kim Kardashian works harder than that girl, than the average girl who makes like day in my life videos on TikTok.
Every time I'm at an airport, I'm like, where are these laptop jobs and how do you get them?
Give it to me now.
Where do you do it?
You can always just LARP as somebody who has a laptop job. Just open Excel, start keyboard mashing, and you'll feel right, you know, part of the club.
Who's going to teach me Microsoft Excel? Somebody's going to have to teach me. All right, let's do one more cute of the day. This one is from Corey. It says, Barley having a lazy Sunday. Well, good for Barley.
Cute.
See,
Barley.
Barley wouldn't just go into work and expect to drink smoothies and...
Are you kidding? Dogs are like the ultimate freeloaders.
Yeah. Barley
I mean, cats and dogs.
Yes.
That's their job.
All right, you've got a second cringe here.
Yeah, this one is just a little cherry on top.
Okay.
This is Renee Rapp doing an appearance with her parents for some reason. I don't know.
You were conceived days after my father's funeral. You were conceived.
Look at the
days
look
after
on
my
her
father's
face.
funeral.
This is that at the end.
It's like the line in an episode of iZombie where I think where Vaughn DuClark says you were conceived at a Matchbox 20 concert or something.
That's even more horrifying.
I think it was because the showrunner of the showrunner.
You're gonna miss that amazing set.
The guy who made that show's name is Rob Thomas, and he always includes Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 in his shows.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. It might have been a different band. Like, Rob Thomas is mentioned in the show, but it might have been a different band that he listed where he tells his daughter that she was...
Renee Rapp looks disturbed.
Which, oddly enough, the actress that plays the character in that show that he says it to's name is Leanna Lapp.
What?
Yeah, so Renee Rapp.
And... Okay.
Yeah.
Weird connections.
Yeah,
there.
okay. Today's weird. What the hell? All right, let's move on. Let's get started. Let's talk about what's going on with this fake PR relationship.
Ever since Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce hard launched their romantic relationship to the public, it has been hotly debated whether this relationship was fully arranged for PR purposes.
We'll have to restart.
Oh.
Put a girl on.
Thank you, guys.
take that one from the top.
From the top. Ever since Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce took their relationship public, it has been debated heavily whether it was an arranged marriage of sorts, a showmance, a promance, some people call it. Just basically a relationship that is arranged by PR agents so that one or both parties involved can get a boost in their career or some kind of benefit in their public image. And whether or not that's the case in this situation, it's undeniable that both of them have benefited from dating each other.
In different ways, yeah.
You know, regardless of whether they are actually in love. And it could be the case, actually, that this was arranged for PR purposes and they ended up falling in love afterwards. It turned into something organic over time. That, you said, is like the best material for a rom-com ever. And Glenn Powell, get on it.
Him and Sydney
if you're
Sweeney
listening,
can make
please.
That movie. He can play a guy named Glenn Michael.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give him 2 first names.
Yeah. So these debates have caught new wind because randomly, someone on the internet leaked a contract from Travis Kelce's PR agency, Full Scope Public Relations, under the title Comprehensive Media Plan for Travis Kelce's Public Relations Following Breakup with Taylor Swift. And it has all of these objectives written down, and it's clearly visible that their breakup date, the end of their contract, is on September 28th, 2024.
So we all know what's going to happen. Either World War III starts that day, you know, Germany invades Poland again. Something is going to happen.
The CIA saw this leak online and they were like, oh, we should take advantage of this.
No. The CIA has got stuff on the people at Full Scope, and they told them to set that day for September 28th.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless. So, yeah, it has their official breakup date right here in the document, and Daily Mail posted it. I'm going to read from it briefly.
Okay.
Objective: to effectively manage and mitigate the fallout from the breakup between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, ensuring Travis Kelce retains a positive public image, minimizes negative media portrayal, and continues to build his personal and professional brand.
You can't say that that's not true. The guy's about to star in a television show. His podcast just got $100 million contract.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's on the way up.
Key messages: respect and privacy. Emphasize that the breakup was a mutual decision made with respect for each other's personal lives. Stress the importance of privacy during this period to allow both individuals to focus on their respective personal growth and careers. Professional focus. Highlight Kelce's commitment to his career and his ongoing achievements in the sports industry. Showcase recent milestones, upcoming games, and his involvement in major events. Personal growth. Frame the breakup as a natural part of life and an opportunity for personal evolution. Share how Travis Kelce is focusing on personal development, self-improvement, and resilience. So he's going to be making an official statement in the media.
How is this even possible? It's not like any of her breakups have ever gone well for the dude.
Actually true. As soon as this happens,
like, isn't there a better celebrity he could have tried to date?
If this happens, I know that the Swiftie fan base is going to just go for the jugular, because every time, somehow, every single breakup, Taylor Swift is the victim.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. She's never in the wrong. The guy is always in the wrong. In fact, the other day I saw a TikTok a girl posted where she saw Jake Gyllenhaal at the airport, and because she's a Swiftie, she felt it necessary to blast All Too Well in her car with the windows open as Jake Gyllenhaal was walking past. For a relationship he was in, what, like 12 years ago?
And he's not understanding connection.
Probably
when
more.
She does this at all. It's literally a fantasy in her own head.
Like, not even Taylor Swift cares that much about Jake Gyllenhaal. But they are very vindictive. So Travis Kelce should be worried if this breakup is imminent. However, after this contract leaked online, Travis Kelce's PR agency has issued a correction. Full Scope categorically denies the alleged plan, telling TMZ this document is entirely false and fabricated. It was not created, issued, or authorized by their agency. Quote, we have engaged our legal team to initiate proceedings against the individuals or entities responsible for the unlawful and injurious forgery of documents.
It is fair to point out that the logo is at least correct.
Yes, it has the actual logo of the PR agency right there. And in case you were unaware, this PR agency, Full Scope, it's run by Jack Kitsoyan and Pia Malahi. Pia is Travis Kelce's personal PR agent, but she runs Full Scope with Jack Kitsoyan. And interestingly enough, this publicist, the publicist who co-runs Travis Kelce's PR agency, has openly admitted in the past to creating PR relationships. He has done this professionally at least twice of his own admission. So back in 2019, he did an interview about this. He spilled the tea on how he creates fake celebrity relationship rumors, or he just creates a relationship from scratch.
You'd think he'd want to keep this stuff close to the vest, then it wouldn't be as effective.
It wouldn't come back to bite him later on. Jack Kitsoyan said it's to be able to sell the hype of it. Whether it's a concert, album, getting people to go see a movie, it's all about the hype at the moment. With the social media world, nobody is reading magazines as they used to. Things spread like wildfire. Hollywood is a very small town and people talk. He said that he's set up 2 fake relationships. One which gave a female celebrity a career boost, leading to her becoming a household name. Maybe this was Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. Possible. I mean, he's saying this years before that ever happened, so I have no idea who he's referring to. He also said the terms usually involved the couple signing a love contract, which binds them legally to fake date for at least a year, and that in the past he has seen these fake relationships set up to hide the fact that a popular male celebrity is gay. Yeah. And these days, however, the reasons are just for hype. So think about it. I think that
10 years from now they'll be setting up relationships to set up fake straight relationships.
Yeah. Travis Kelce has received a significant, career boost from dating Taylor Swift.
No, he has.
And I'm sorry, but this is just the truth. Travis Kelce has benefited more from this relationship than Taylor Swift has.
Yes.
He has been opened up to a far bigger mainstream audience.
He clearly won.
Her.
I mean, as successful as he is, in the NFL, and he was and is very, very, very successful. He already did the reality dating show back in like 2016. Was that 2016?
Yeah.
Something like that. He very clearly had ambitions beyond just football, and that's fine.
As you should.
What you're seeing right now is him staging and building his career leading up to retirement from the NFL. And everyone knows what happens to a lot of athletes when they leave the sport that they worked their whole lives to master. They a lot of them can spiral because they don't have a new challenge to take on.
We have a 20 from V Wit. Because if, quote, all the single ladies admit Taylor is in the wrong, they will have to have some introspection on their own actions. Taylor Swift is the thoughts shield against taking responsibility for their own actions. Cheers. I mean, I think Taylor Swift is just like the avatar of jilted ex-girlfriend who will never realize that she is the reason for her failed relationship.
They've also forgiven themselves for anything they have done wrong.
Forgiven themselves every time.
They're like, okay, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this has pissed off so many football fans because they, for some reason, thought that the world was already aware of Travis Kelce before he dated Taylor Swift. That is not true.
Well, not to the extent of what he's known now.
Yes, of course. I swear on my life, I heard of this guy for the first time when he started dating Taylor Swift because I'm not into sports, as many of her female fans aren't. So, I didn't know who he was before this. And I'm sure that's true for many others. There are no NFL fans who learned of the existence of Taylor Swift for the very first time as soon as she started dating Travis Kelce. That didn't happen. It might have happened one time, but it's just not on the same level of global fame. And she has elevated him so much that now he has a whole world of possibilities for his career going forward. He has been rumored to approach retirement from football very soon, possibly in the next couple of years. It's a short career to begin with.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting into a relationship with a global pop star perfectly puts him in the position to get brand deals, get roles in TV shows, in movies, product lines. Anything else that he would want to do after his sports career is just perfectly teed up because he's been in this relationship that is super relevant for a year straight.
Like, I wonder what his podcast was already successful, but does it get $100 million if not for
when
what's
he's
going on
not
right now?
dropping Easter eggs about his relationship from time to time and people listen in for details.
I see people talking about, you know, becoming like a commentator in the NFL. Like he clearly has ambitions beyond just going and working the booth in the NFL after he's done. He wants to do Hollywood. He wants to go far beyond just sports.
Looks like he's in a horror movie, Grotesquerie.
Yeah, the Ryan,
right now. So that's coming up soon. But okay, is it really that hard to believe?
No.
It's modern day, it's 21st century arranged marriage. That's literally what it is. And I heard Michael Knowles had a take on this saying, you know how you could disprove all of these rumors and put all of the speculation to rest? You could get engaged and get married and have a family. And then no one can say that you're in a PR marriage with children. No one could say that.
Yeah.
But who knows if that's actually going to happen.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they surprise everyone and they announce their engagement on the 28th rather than their breakup.
Do you think that this is like guerrilla marketing for their engagement?
I mean, that would be not out of the realm of possibility either.
There's just like it's like an onion of psyops. There's so many layers.
If I'm supposed to believe that it's completely plausible that a PR company would write up a contract and then a bullet point by bullet point description of how a fake relationship will go, am I supposed to believe that it's somehow ridiculous that they would write up a fake version of that? No, that's perfectly plausible.
Yeah, so the countdown is on and the evidence is clear. Travis Kelce's PR agent has not only admitted to the existence of PR relationships, but also admitted that he set up a couple of them himself, and he wrote 2 books using fictionalized accounts of real scandals that he managed. So they are seasoned professionals at creating fantastical tales for the media to feed the public, and they believe every word.
Also, it's fair to point out that there was a chance to bridge the political divide the other day with Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift, and they definitely fumbled the ball.
Yeah. So Brittany Mahomes obviously is a Trump supporter. Brittany Mahomes has been talking about how she supports Trump on social media recently. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of Swifties didn't like that in particular. And now that the season is back on, Taylor Swift decided to sit in an entirely different suite.
Think of what they could have done.
Away from Brittany Mahomes, the Trump supporter, the evil blonde Trump supporter.
Think of what they could have done for the culture if they had just stood together, arm in arm. A Mamala supporter and a Drumpfler all there.
Because forcing the Swifties to do the mental gymnastics to justify that, to still think of Taylor Swift as a good, acceptable liberal while hanging out with a conservative Trump supporter, that's a very beneficial therapeutic exercise for them. Like, they need to understand that their political adversaries are human, and that would have helped. But I guess she decided to dissociate herself from Brittany Mahomes over this.
Or maybe what we'll see is it's even more perfect PR management if like a month from now they sit together because it's blown over.
Like, oh, I totally forgot that you were a Trump supporter.
Oh my God.
It looks like the election is coming up.
We'll have to see where it all goes.
Yeah, and like, is she going to break up with her boyfriend and then endorse Kamala because she's a feminist again.
We'll have to wait and see.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Friday, Brett and Mary. I made the rat with an AirPod cane for you. He's very dapper with a PCC top hat."
He did. I like the hat.
I like
the
it.
hat was my favorite part.
Made me laugh. Andrew Jacobs said, "Looking forward to Mary trashing Beetlejuice 2. I don't think you're going to get me trashing Beetlejuice 2. It actually wasn't worth, like, trashing.
No, it was
That
fun.
makes it sound even worse. It's not bad. It wasn't bad. It was fine.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see. We'll be getting to it soon. We've got a review for you today.
I grade things on a binary, sort of like the Costco guys. It's either boom
Is it a boom or a doom?
So if I had to pick one, what would it be?
Would it be a boom or a doom? Was it a double chunk chocolate cookie?
It was a chicken bake. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. V-Wit said, "What's up, party people?"
Well, thank you.
Hi.
And hello.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Money well spent Thursday." It was 420 rubles well spent.
Do one more.
Boosted Yogi said, "What the hell happened to Lauren Chen? Nice hat, Mary." We don't know.
No clue.
No one knows.
Let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact.
Okay.
Let's talk about Will Ferrell.
You've probably wondered to yourself before if you're being a good enough ally to the trans community. And now Will Ferrell has the perfect movie for you to watch. Will Ferrell is creating a guidebook on trans allyship, along with his trans friend, Harper Steele, a former head writer at SNL. This is a documentary film in which Will Ferrell goes on a cross-country road trip with his trans friend, and they go to all of these red states where all of these bigots live, and they find out new things about themselves and others.
There's a $50 super chat there from Pat the Plumber. Thank you, Pat.
Pat the Plumber said, "I missed every show this week, so if you could just start over, that would be great, but I'd also be happy with a recap. Thanks, Bert and Murray."
What if I drew your attention to a YouTube channel where you could actually watch all the episodes?
You can just rewatch the episode.
In fact, it
after.
would be good for us
Thank
because
you
it would
for
give
doing
us
that.
views. So thank you for that, Pat. Hope you're well.
So Netflix is putting out this documentary later this month. Here is their pitch. Will Ferrell and his close friend Harper Steele embark on a cross-country road trip together after Harper comes out as a trans woman in the documentary film Will and Harper, in select theaters this September and on Netflix September 27th. They're putting this in movie theaters. Seriously?
And then what they
Gordon
get to do
Shumway,
is they get to then be mad when nobody goes to see it.
Right.
Not even because of the subject.
they're not good enough allies.
No. But not even because of the subject matter, but because nobody goes to see Netflix movies in theaters.
No. Gordon Shumway said the guy who is really banking from T Swift is Travis's brother Jason. Swifties know all about him and his wife. My friend is a hardcore Swiftie and she is always talking about Jason. Lucky guy doesn't have to date Taylor.
Jason Kelce is the far more down-to-earth one. He's got the wife and kids.
He seems like it, but he also was in that weird controversy about calling his wife a homemaker. Like, don't call my wife a homemaker.
Yeah, he got very upset about that.
Pat the Plumber sent another 20. OMG, thank you. What are you thanking us for?
But thank you for the super chat. But yeah, go and check out the episodes from this week. Also, Gordon Shumway. I saw somebody left a comment says like, after 2 years, can they not get Gordon Shumway's name right? Are we saying it wrong?
If we're saying it wrong, I don't care.
There you go.
Okay, we're gonna watch the trailer for this documentary and see it in all of its glory.
All right, here we go.
A long time.
This segment's getting scrapped. I can already tell.
What? It's too controversial?
No, it's just too all over the place. All right, let's get back to the backhanded slaps against America.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Love that.
Here we go. Like, and put Walmarts in there. Flyover states have lots of Walmarts.
Yeah.
Came out to you? Yeah.
Like, I can feel the bad faith.
Car race, for those listening rather than watching, they're at a NASCAR race and Will Ferrell's trans friend says, "I used to go to things like this, but now that I've transitioned, I'm afraid," which means people who go to NASCAR are bigoted, hateful people who are just lurking around every corner to assault you if you're trans. That's what they're saying.
But the nefarious part is they're showing you what they would call you're one of the good ones. That's what they're saying. You're one of the good ones.
Yeah. The world needs right now.
I love don't think for a minute that either one of them drove this car. This was specifically selected as a car that evokes the road trip theme.
It's a prop.
It's a prop, okay? Everything in Hollywood is fake. None of it is real.
They probably had a wardrobe department following them around. Yeah.
Yep.
The whole thing is fake. So, yeah, this is where Will Ferrell is at in his career after Barbie. He's not going so well for him, but he thought he could scrape up some validation online for being a good little ally, and he did get it. He got some validation here. Will Ferrell deciding to educate himself and others, as well as supporting and loving Harper unconditionally when she came out to him, really puts other comedians to shame.
I send all my close friends the most important news in my life through email, too.
Another one said, I did not have Will Ferrell appearing in what might be the most important movie of the year on my 2024 bingo card.
Yeah.
If you have a 2024 bingo card,
you might be on Twitter too much.
You might be on Twitter too much, yes. This is exactly what white rich men with privilege and a huge cis male following should be doing. I will love Will Ferrell forever.
They'll love you under the condition that you make the content that they want related to ideology. Don't make movies, make content about ideology.
You're being such a well-behaved little straight white male today, Will. I'm looking forward to seeing this, but I also think rural America would not be as kind to an older trans woman if a camera wasn't on them and Will Ferrell wasn't present.
There's a $20 super chat here from Francisco Sanchez Jr. He says, "My closest friend sent me an email."
Yeah, that's totally
about
friend,
a life-changing surgery and alteration.
Yeah, so they're claiming that actually this makes middle America look too good, and that if there weren't cameras involved and if there weren't a celebrity involved, that this person going to Arkansas or what have you would get violently attacked for being trans. That's what they're saying. So it's too flattering. Another one said, Will Ferrell looks like he was forced to do this movie or else they were going to release some tapes. No comment on that one, but yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He's not doing a lot with his career since Barbie. He also did an interview about this documentary several months ago as it premiered at Sundance.
Yep.
So I wanted to show
this interview.
Yeah, what he had to say about it.
This one here.
I do want to make very clear the trans experience is not entirely represented in my experience. I went through the country with Will Ferrell.
This is actually a funny rebuke of their ideology to begin with, which is that everyone's experience is different anyways. So
why is yours worth anything?
So boiling everything down to a commentary on what that is and what it entails is actually quite futile because everybody's going to have a different experience as it is.
Right.
But let's continue.
That makes it a lot easier. And I went through the country with a crew. And there are so many trans people who obviously do not have this incredible privilege. So I would make that point.
Even they are even the focus of the movie is acknowledging their privilege.
And yet there were places where I definitely was afraid. So that does happen to me too. You know, because we're hyped up about the trans issues.
As it kind of unfolded, we thought, we hoped, and then when we finally looked at it, is like, could this be a guidebook, kind of a workbook for just to show that two friends can kind of talk about this hot button issue and kind of demystify the conversation in a way.
Go back for me and look in left, please, right here. And then the far left on the left.
Okay.
So, in case you were wondering how to be a better ally to the trans community, Will Ferrell has the movie for you.
It's an absolute backhand to middle America in every respect.
And
And not to mention,
I mean, it's
ode,
like,
an
what
ode
are
to
you-
narcissism.
What are you afraid of? Getting beat up in a Denny's parking lot?
I think I'm gonna make a documentary where I take a road trip and go to basketball courts and say it's not easy being 5'5" and wanting to play basketball.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a documentary where I walk around the south side of Chicago, and I'm going to talk about how afraid I am of getting mugged and shot.
I see this stuff and it just feels like the worst of the Hollywood elitism to speak down to you, to tell you you're bad while couching it in high production value slop that is designed to emotionally manipulate you. And it's not funny, it's not fun, it's not interesting. It is an issue that seems more to be related to narcissism than anything else. And
Yeah, the emotional soundtrack and just like the swelling emotional piano track over a movie that is essentially saying, you know, we are Hollywood elites who want nothing to do with ordinary people who live in middle America in the flyover states because they're basically subhuman bigots. That's what it is. That's the message of the movie.
Coastal Hollywood elitism, the movie.
Tolerance, the movie.
All right.
Boosted Yogi, already read that one. Richard said, I suppose that means Brandon Lee's stand ended that stereotype?
I don't understand the relation to the stand part of it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Surinko Productions said the X-Men shooter is Cyclops going through puberty.
Yeah. Or Clark Kent in Smallville when in the first season.
Quite Blackbilled said, in Soviet Russia, podcast listen to you. Dos Vidania.
It's like, have you ever seen that video of the guy who's the first person who ever won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And on the last question, he uses his lifeline to call his dad to tell him he's about to win. And all of the comments are basically Chuck Norris jokes, but about this guy. It's like when he shows up to work late, they tell everyone else they were early.
I like that. Shane H. Wilder said, what actual work did she do?
She didn't do any work.
She said she worked. You just have to trust her.
You'll have to just.
She didn't show you, but you have to believe her that she did work.
You'll have to do two more.
Red Snow said, let us commence the going? Oh.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, let the going commence.
Shane H. Wilder said, second cringe, I died a little inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did Renee Rapp.
Yeah.
She did not need to know that information. But she was probably thinking, like, you know, the world doesn't need to know that information.
Yeah,
either.
she's like, I didn't want to know, and they certainly didn't want to know.
Very weird.
Yeah. All right, let's hold off on the rest. Let's go ahead, let's talk about it. So yesterday, guys, we went and saw the finale. We went and saw the follow-up to the original Tim Burton Beetlejuice, entitled Beetlejuice.
Yes, I was not a fan of the original Beetlejuice. I know that might be a surprise to some people who think of me as a Tim Burton fan, but I'm not. And it also wasn't part of my childhood, so I didn't have that nostalgia factor in watching this sequel. It was fine. I liked it better than the original, but I also felt that it wasn't anything special. So I can't exactly give my full recommendation on this.
Do you want to give people a breakdown of what this film was about?
No, nothing happened. What are you talking about? There's no plot.
In the film...
Do you want me to read out a synopsis?
Yes, the synopsis, yes.
Okay, fine. After an unexpected family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia Dietz's life is turned upside down when her rebellious teenage daughter, Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, discovers the mysterious model of the town in the attic, and the portal to the afterlife is accidentally opened. With trouble brewing in both realms, it's only a matter of time until someone says Beetlejuice's name 3 times and the mischievous demon returns to unleash his very own brand of mayhem.
Let's address the controversy before we get started, so that
What
people can
controversy?
the stuff with the actor Jeffrey Jones.
Is it getting that much attention?
I don't know, but people are going to bring it up in the comments, so it's fair to at least mention here. In the original film, Lydia's father is played by an actor named Jeffrey Jones, who is not in this movie, but heavily referenced, shown in photos, claymation, and then seen decapitated with no head.
Right.
Because they were not able to put the actor in this film because he was arrested in 2002 for doing very, very bad things. With
children.
I can read you. It says in November of 2002, he was arrested and charged with violating California Penal Code Section 311.4, use of a minor to perform prohibited acts. He subsequently pled no contest to the charge of inducing a 14-year-old boy to pose for sexually explicit photos and was sentenced to 5 years of probation.
Yeah.
He has acted since then. Seems like every couple of years he gets a role.
But they decided to leave him out of this movie.
He is not in this movie, but
paying tribute to his character from the original movie nonetheless.
And the reason I want to mention it is because people were saying that they were paying tribute to the actor in this. And, there is a distinction to be made that they're paying tribute to the character, not the actor. But a lot of people had fair concerns to say, why would you include him at all? Say he died and then
how do you just
move on?
fridge a character who's dead in the movie Beetlejuice, where everyone who is dead is actually
correct
alive in the movie? So that's kind of a difficult situation that they had to sidestep. But aside from that, I don't know. I don't feel strongly about any of it. It was just kind of a lot of random random stuff that was thrown together. It didn't make a lot of sense.
If you like Tim Burton's aesthetic, this may appeal to you. It certainly has a lot of storylines. You don't just have Astrid and the boy she meets. You don't just have Astrid and Lydia. You don't just have Lydia and her new boyfriend. You don't just have Delia and Lydia. You don't just have Beetlejuice and Lydia. You don't just have Beetlejuice and his wife, played by Monica Bellucci. I think that character's name is Dolores. You don't just have the cop, played by Willem Dafoe. You have all of this stuff, and it fails in a lot of ways to find a succinct way of telling the story that builds momentum. Rather, it feels in a lot of ways like various storylines are just kind of thrown one to the next, to the next, to the next, all of which kind of coalesce under Tim Burton's visual aesthetic, which is what really holds it together and keeps it feeling like a movie.
That's what draws people, really, is that it's a Tim Burton film and it looks and feels like a Tim Burton film. I'm honestly surprised that they were able to fit this into an hour and 44-minute movie. That's really impressive in and of itself, but still, it just felt haphazard and like there were a lot of loose ends, and then they didn't know how to end it. The ending was very bizarre. And it didn't feel like they planned on how to end the movie, so they were just like, F it, like make a random cutscene. Monica
Bellucci's character of Dolores could have just been completely excised from the movie. They could have just gotten rid of her entirely.
So there's trouble in the underworld because Beetlejuice's ex-wife is coming after him, either to suck his soul out of his body or to get back with him. I can't really tell. She has like 2 lines in the whole movie.
I will say that from a personal perspective, you said you like this one a little bit more than you like the original Beetlejuice. I prefer the original Beetlejuice a little bit more to this one, but just barely. I liked Winona Ryder as Lydia in the first movie more than I like Jenna Ortega as Astrid in this movie as the teenage protagonist.
You said that was because Lydia's character in the original is more of a passive, like, what is it? Despondent.
She's despondent. She's bummed about the world. Nobody gets me. And in this one, you get a more forceful version of that.
Astrid is more angry.
Yes.
And she's more outspoken.
Yeah.
And she's more, as you said, whiny. She's more rebellious, I think, too. So she's different from Lydia's teenage self.
If you go to see, look, Catherine O'Hara is still the best part of this movie, just the way that she, in my opinion, was one of the best parts of the first movie. Yeah. She gets to play the same self-interested, stuck-up artist that she was in the first one. And you can tell that she's having a blast with that. My favorite scene in the first movie is, of course, the dinner party scene. And when you watch it, you look at Catherine O'Hara and you can just see the art nerd in all of these actors loving doing that, and that appeals to me. And that's really what the majority of the third act of this film is, or at least from the point where they enter into the church at the end where the wedding is supposed to take place. It's one big song number that looks like they spent a lot of time on, and they have a lot of fun with it, but it felt it felt more interesting in the first one to me personally, because it wasn't as layered and extravagant.
I think we should address the name checking of climate change.
Didn't bother me. It was like 2 seconds. I didn't think about it after that. If they'd done the movie 20 years ago, it would have been about the ozone layer. And the idea is that in a pitch meeting, they pitch Astrid as a pragmatic do-gooder who's everything the opposite of her mom, who works on a show about ghosts.
Yeah, so
right?
Astrid is, from the beginning of the movie, in charge of her school's climate action club.
It's
and she's
mentioned
putting
for
up
like
a
2
poster
minutes.
for it. It's not heavily focused on, but I just chalked it up to, she's into that kind of thing in honor of her dead dad's legacy.
Who was an activist type of guy. Okay.
So that makes sense.
The
but
Mary Curie bit was the more relevant form of identity politics and feminism.
Yeah, so for Halloween, Astrid dresses up as Marie Curie, who, according to her in the movie, is a feminist icon who discovered radiation.
Yeah.
I just want to fact check this real quick. Community note.
Yeah.
I looked up who discovered radiation. It wasn't her. It says Henry Becquerel discovered radioactivity in 1896, but his doctoral student, Marie Curie, coined the term stolen valor.
Yep.
But they did make Astrid shout that scientist out as a feminist icon.
So one of the things that I did like is that at the very least, as much as I didn't like the more forceful personality of Astrid, it does clash heavily with the more passive personality of Lydia. Right?
Yes.
Which makes for an interesting bit of character development. There's a moment of them up in the attic where they bond over looking at old photos, and that was where I thought there was some actual light in the movie there between the two characters. But they're kind of consistently nerfed because Lydia's got this side storyline with this wretched producer boyfriend who wants to marry her for her money.
Yes.
And it's very clear from the beginning.
He's
right?
obsessed with
So
therapy
again,
speak.
there are too many characters in this movie to make it feel like it builds a coherent storyline and narrative throughout.
Yeah.
It suffers the most from the fact that it's overcrowded.
Yeah, and there's no love in it. I think that's tough.
What do you like between actual romance or
comparing it to the original? Obviously, what is Alec Baldwin's character in the original? I don't remember their names, but you have the dead couple in the original movie
who love each other,
who are in love, and that's nice, and there's no strife there. But in this movie, no one is at peace with each other.
And they even develop a sense of affection for Lydia. And they grow close to Lydia throughout the movie in the original. And you don't feel the same here. You do get a little bit of it at the end with Delia after what happens to her. Again, I don't know how much we'll spoil about that.
She reunites with her husband.
Yes.
But there's no, other than that, there's no through line of a loving relationship between anyone.
Which would have gone a long way. And again, you get an actor like Willem Dafoe who's literally just tacked on here into a storyline where he's kind of after Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And
it was just weird.
You get a great actor. The storyline didn't
Monica
really need to be
Bellucci and Willem Dafoe did not need to be in this movie.
No.
It wouldn't have made a huge difference if they weren't in it. Honestly, they didn't even need Lydia's husband to be in the movie. They didn't even need that side plot either. It should have just focused on Astrid wanting to see her father again.
And the boy that
she met.
She gets duped. She gets duped by a boy, and that storyline to me was the most interesting. And it was like halfway through the second act, and then it's gone as soon as it starts.
It was entertaining, but it was predictable because I had watched Wednesday, and literally the exact same plot line was used in Wednesday with Jenna Ortega. She meets a boy, he's very unassuming, and then it turns out he's evil. So they repeated that again.
It still has strong set design. Danny Elfman does fantastic with the music on here. Like the score is good. It evokes Tim Burton. It's gonna do well at the box office this weekend. I assume it's predicted to make over $100 million. You could say that the fact that the movie is unfocused is helped a little bit because the pace is so frantic. It would be worse if it was unfocused in a slog.
Yeah.
But everything moves so quickly that it's not all that awful.
No, it's not hard to watch at all. It was fun. It was a fun watch, but I just didn't think it had the sentimentality of the original.
Correct.
And the meaning, and there was no real resolution to any of it, honestly.
I think they should have made Astrid, since in the movie, Lydia now has like a television show about being not a ghost hunter, but she's like a psychic medium and she's on TV. I would have loved it if they would have given Astrid her own YouTube channel where she debunks
Yes,
stuff.
I said
that would have been hilarious.
If you wanted to contrast Lydia with this teenage daughter who's rebellious and has a strained relationship with her, they should have made more effort in both aesthetics and personality to make that happen. Where perhaps Astrid is like a rationalist atheist who's like super against everything supernatural. And they did like communicate that she doesn't believe in ghosts, but it wasn't really a focal point.
She also dresses
gothish, and it's like, okay, I get it. Jenna Ortega is in a Tim Burton movie, but you could have made her more normal because Lydia, her mom, who she's rebelling against, is also like goth looking. So
she could have maybe dressed more like her
direction.
She could have dressed more like Delia.
Right. Yeah. Something else. But it just didn't. There was too much in this movie that didn't make sense, and it didn't seem like they put the same level of care into this one.
And I think one of the reasons is I love the aesthetic of the first one because it was made in the late 80s, and the 80s outfits, the 80s, the 80s cars, the homes, everything about it works for me in a way that's
even the pace of conversation
is
so different,
tied to nostalgia that's not real because it wasn't made to be nostalgic. It was actually made in the 80s. I'm just watching it with a modern lens. Look, I think if you like Tim Burton movies, if you're a fan of his work, and obviously overcrowding is not something new to Burton, so like this might not bother you, and certainly I think that there's going to be a lot of people that will leave this movie happy. I think the audience score so far is pretty high. Right?
Yeah, it will be. I'm expecting it to be very popular, but people don't know what they're missing. That's the problem.
And
that's why it's going to get a high audience score. People don't know what they're missing.
I do want to warn against. Look, is the mention of climate change lame? Yes. It's so negligible in its thematics that it's going to be used to scare people off going to see it. There's plenty of reasons not to see this movie, depending on how tightly you hold yourself to like story structure and what type of movie is enticing for you. If you're looking for like tightly edited, tightly focused films, this is not the movie for you. It's frantic, it's fast paced, and it's all over the place. But the minor mentions of a teenage activist are so part of the normal world that
it's looked down upon
to pretend like that's not something that could happen in the real world is ridiculous now.
So it's not anything that should ruin your experience of the movie.
Now, if she was mentioning it as the movie went on, like if it goes on and she like complains to her mom that they're driving a Tesla. Like if they put him in like a regular car and she's complaining to her mom that they're not driving an electric car, now we're getting into the realm of annoying.
Yeah, there was nothing like that.
There was no further mentions of it beyond it. It was fine. I think that's one of those things where one mention of something becomes more than it actually is now.
It gets overblown because people want an excuse to boycott something or be outraged about something. The real problem is it's not woke. It's just not. It's not a great movie that's going to be remembered.
But again, it's Burton, so style and aesthetics matter more. to a lot of people.
Yeah, this movie is going to capture all of the people that they thought were going to watch the Crow reboot.
Yeah, you're 110% right.
So it's going to be a big hit in my prediction.
And if I had to choose between the two, I'll take this one any day of the week.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than to watch Catherine O'Hara look like she's having the time of her life playing this snobby, stuck-up character.
And she was.
And as Delia. She just looks like she's having a blast, and I'm here for it.
Yes. Okay, let's finish up these super chats. Pop Culture Junkie said, we're using hard launch to describe a relationship. What's next? Well, when normal people do that, I cringe. When celebrities do it, I understand because it actually is something that you launch. It's a brand strategy. John Thomas said 1, NFL ratings were sagging. 2, his brother just retired from the Eagles. 3, only person who dated Taylor she didn't villainize was Ewan McGregor.
Is that true?
She dated him? Is that true?
You would know more about that than me.
Wait, let me look this up because that's crazy.
In the chat, Kirby says, put a girl
on. I don't see any evidence that this happened. I don't know. I think you're making things up. Pat the Plumber. Oh no. Shane H. Wilder said, I'd rather watch An Idiot Abroad real travel show with Ricky Gervais instead of an idiot who thinks he's broad. That was good. Omega Red Fan said Anchorman 2 was disappointing to me. His apparent downfall started then.
I mean,
he wasn't so bad in Barbie.
No, he's fine in Barbie. He played exactly the role he was supposed to. People like him have FU money. They can do whatever they want with their time.
And
doesn't have to act if he doesn't want to.
He is an idiot.
Yep.
V. Witt said Brett identifies as 6'5" with a 6 inseam.
Blue eyes with a job in finance. Finance.
6'5", blue eyes. For you, it would be hazel eye, green eye.
Yes, 2 different color eyes.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, like if you audibly gasped when Mary said she isn't a fan of Beetlejuice.
I'm sure plenty of people think that, we contain multitudes. People contain multitudes.
I don't like Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't like, what's the other one?
Coraline?
The one about the something bride? Is it
The Corpse Bride?
Yeah, I don't like Corpse Bride.
Like Sleepy Hollow.
Like
any of the other movies? Sleepy Hollow.
I watched the Johnny Depp one.
Sweeney Todd.
I don't understand the hype.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe I just hate everything.
Could be.
That's my problem.
I mean, that makes Beetlejuice even more weird because you didn't hate it. You were just like, eh.
Yeah, it just didn't stir up any feeling in me.
The video will get exactly 1 view because we can't take a stand. We're like, eh.
Give it a boom or a doom.
I give it a
Yeah, we don't know. Red Snow said OG Beetlejuice was whack. Will stand by it. Whack in a good way or a bad way? I don't know. I also thought that they were going to give what was the actor's name again? The pedophile.
Jeffrey Jones.
I thought they were going to give Jeffrey Jones a credit because I thought that they used his
picture. Well,
they used his likeness, of course, in that instance, but they also used an actor with his head cut off.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that him or is that just a body double? And then the voice coming out of that person, is that his voice that they're using? Is it AI?
Voice actor.
A voice actor? I don't know. Red Snow said, and as usual, praise be to Space King.
Thank you.
Shane H. Wilder said the Beetlejuice movie poster will be out tomorrow. It's the most detail I've put into a movie poster since the Podcastress posters.
Beetlejuice, I hate it.
There was no apology for Beetlejuice's, what would you call it? Not mischievousness.
What do you mean apology?
There was no apology made for his
behavior.
His
no, he's the same. We didn't
behavior.
We didn't even really talk about Beetlejuice much. Michael Keaton is great.
He was so
Beetlejuice.
honestly irrelevant to the plot of the movie, which is just weird.
Yeah, Michael Keaton is perfectly fine as Beetlejuice in the movie. Seems to pick up the character right where it left off. The makeup makes it so it doesn't look like a day has passed.
Yeah.
He doesn't look any older.
But it's Honestly, it seems like they wrote a movie and then they were like, oh, now we have to put Beetlejuice in it. Then they added him afterwards. Like there's no there. Shane H. Wilder said Barbara and Adam Maitland were the dead couple. See, something like that, that's like something that grounds the movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing there in this sequel that grounds the movie.
Yeah, there's something sweet about it. There's a sweetness to it that is missing from this film.
And they tried to insert it with Astrid and her father, but they never reunited
because he's not really in it that much.
He's not even in the movie. So there is just no heart. There is no heart in the movie. V. Witt said every movie needs Willem Dafoe. Finally, noobs.
Thank you, V. Witt. I like Willem Dafoe a lot too. His character was irrelevant in this film.
Yeah, I don't even know why he was there.
Should have made him the scummy producer.
I mean, did they get? Yeah, they should have actually.
It's too old, I suppose.
Or Bob Odenkirk. I think that I was thinking that while watching it. It should have been.
Was that
Bob
Justin
Odenkirk.
Theroux who played the boyfriend? I think. Rory. Yeah. And when I see him, when I see him, I just thought like the way they portray his character is he just looks like Gavin Rossdale.
You know who else? I need to find out who this actor was first.
For what?
He was in Arrested Development. I'm trying to figure it out. Will Arnett.
Yeah.
I think he would have played a good Rory.
Yeah, that's perfect for him too because he's never the lead. He's always like second or third down the cast. It's like when he was in was it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Megan Fox and he plays her lecherous producer.
Okay, this next super chat is going to be a doozy. You're not going to know why. Shane H. Wilder said the Beetlejuice cartoon is on Tubi and Roku TV.
What else could it be on, Mary?
Should we address this?
Send me the tweet. Send me the tweet and we'll put it on screen.
Now I need to find it. Did I end up sending it to you?
I don't think you ever sent it to me.
Wait, okay. Let me find it. I'm gonna read it first. Hold on. It's on Tubu. It's literally on Hebe. It's on Pootie with ads. It's literally on Dippy. You can find it on Weno. Dude, it's on Gumpy. It's a Phoebo original. It's on Poob. You can watch it on Poob. Like, why is this so accurate?
You
did the meme.
It's on Hoo Hoo.
You did the meme.
It's on Hoo Ha.
Bro, it's literally on Dildo with ads. Bro, it's on Coochie.
It's on Vibro.
It's on Coochie Premium. It's on Pee Pee Poo Poo.
And I feel better because I just deleted my Netflix, so I don't have all of them now.
Okay. I'm sorry. We're just in full brain rot mode this week. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Yep.
VWit said, "OMG, Hawk Tua girl starting PC
Podcast.
called Talk Tua."
Talk Tua.
Oh, is PC short for podcast now? Yeah, we talked about that earlier this week.
Somebody pointed out, they said, she had one vulgar moment and she's been nothing but class since then. So maybe you give them the benefit of the doubt.
But then look at the guy who made D's nuts and he's been on the streets of LA begging for spare change.
Life isn't fair.
Life ain't fair. Red Snow said my coworker got me into Yellow Jackets. Anyone else?
I haven't seen it. I know many people who like it though.
What is it?
It's a show. I've never seen it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder, you're welcome. Thank you, I think.
We'll hang out until 5. It is Friday. As tempting as it might be to cut out early.
Yeah, that's fine.
No,
we can hang.
What is it in the chat? Oh, I like this one. Aaron House says, I don't know this Coochie Premium app. Show me sometime. Yeah, well, it's expensive. Coochie Premium is expensive. I can't afford that one.
Bro, it's a hoo-ha original. It's on Yoo-hoo.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing when I see we watch stuff on Roku TV and they're like Spiderwick Chronicles, a Roku original. Like, does anybody actually watch that? Like, is anybody? Nobody's tuning into
They must
Roku
be.
for the originals. You're tuning into Roku so you can see the obscure show that had 3 seasons 20 years ago. That's what I
Someone's gotta
do.
be watching it.
I watch Roku to watch old episodes of Nikita because it's not on any of the other streaming services. The 2010 Nikita, not La Femme Nikita, which is also on there, and episodes of Third Watch from 2000.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
High Voltage 75 said, Brett, put the hat on. Put a hat on.
Put the hat on. Sorry,
Brett's not allowed to wear.
I'm not
my
Russian.
hat.
I'm not Russian. I can't wear the hat.
He's never gonna beat the allegations though with that last name.
Dasovic.
Wait, no, it's not even Russian,
No,
but it's just vaguely Eastern European.
Yes.
So you're already suspect.
Well, with a last name that ends in Vic, you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
Nostrovia.
That's V. Yeah, but I'm in the clear. My last name is Welsh, so I've heard.
You're good to go.
Mhm.
You're good to go. Somebody says,
Guys, get us to the third party.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to the third party. It says Brad is Slavic for us. Yes, I am Slavic.
Wait, I forgot. Maybe I should ask you off air. Never mind.
No. Okay.
Never mind. I don't want to reveal your doxing information to the audience.
Fair
We're
enough.
$10 away from the third party. Just letting you know. No pressure or anything.
Put a girl on. Das Vidanya, comrade, says Rhaegar Targaryen. That is true.
Brett Doslovic.
It's on Hooters Plus.
It's on Hooters Plus. Actually, Hooters would have great success with their own
They
streaming
would.
service.
I mean, if Walmart has like Walmart, what was it, like Walmart Plus or whatever, then I would watch the.
Hooters should be affiliated with Barstool. I don't know why, but they just should be.
Well, didn't they go and start like letting in fat chicks?
Did they?
Thought they did.
I mean, okay, would it be legally the same thing as like discrimination if you didn't hire someone at Hooters for like their body type? Like, is that a lawsuit in the making?
I mean, how can you prove like?
You can't prove it, but it's like.
How do you prove it? They're like all the same. It's like working at Abercrombie or Hollister back in the day.
But they were actually like hired under the title of model.
Yeah.
Right. So you're fine.
Model who folds clothes.
Do they even fold clothes? I don't even think they had to fold clothes. What did they even do?
I have no idea. Spray perfume everywhere so that you get a
Such
headache.
a weird time in like mall history.
I mean,
so weird.
Hollister's still there.
Yeah, but it's not what it used to be.
I've
It's
never-
not even recognizable. I just miss that there were stores in the mall that I was scared of. You know? Like, we miss those times. Shane H. Wilder said randomly Roku owns all of the Quibi catalog.
They just bought it one day. They're just like, we like. Is that the one that had the vertical
Who
video?
wants it?
Is that the one that had all the vertical video?
Yeah.
They're like, we'll take it.
Like, they were pawning this off to the first bidder. That's crazy. Cornelius Hubert
Hope that's your actual name.
said demure.
Demure.
Very mindful. Very demure. Red Dragon said it's on Cooter Prime. They all sound like that. And then right before the show, someone in the chat said, Tubi is one of those words you say over and over again. And it doesn't even sound like a word anymore. And I'm like, you literally did the meme.
Well, neither
you
does
read my mind.
Neither does Quibi.
Quibi.
You can't be quippy about
How
Quibi.
did anyone ever think Quibi was gonna work? They really thought.
Probably around the same time when Instagram Reels became more popular, so you're not turning your phone sideways. You gotta start filming your Reels vertical.
So Reels was the main competitor?
I'm just saying, like all content is filmed vertical now.
Wait, when did that launch?
Reels? Oh, I don't know.
Quibi, I mean.
Oh, Quibi. It
Was
like
Quibi
during
in
the pandemic.
In the pandemic?
Yeah, it was during the pandemic.
Yeah, because that was at the same time everyone was breaking down and downloading TikTok.
Yeah.
After resisting it, including me. And if people, if independent filmmakers and people who film skits can do the same thing on TikTok for free, you're not going to get any subscribers. That's just a delusional business model.
I mean, I send you, Victor Wright. It's like Freebie. I watched Freebie too. I'm like, who came up with that name?
What is wrong with these people?
Freebie.
It's infantilizing.
Well, it's like
there's something infantilizing about it.
It's like back in the day when they just remove all of the vowels from the company name.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
Millennials. That was a millennials thing.
Naming Twitter X is a very Gen X thing.
Yeah, like removing all the vowels from it. It comes from the same person who goes, "We're disruptors because we spell our name weird."
The Neighborhood, that band, NBHD. What else?
There's a lot of them. What is the streaming platform that you guys... Okay, if you guys use ad tier streaming services, in the chat, what is the ad tier streaming service? Not the pay ad ones, not the psychopaths at Netflix who expect you to pay $9.99 or something to watch ads. Fuck that.
People do it.
Like, what is like the... do you use Plex? Do you use Freevee? Plex is another one. Freevee, Pluto TV, right? Roku TV. Personally, I find Roku TV to be the most palatable of all of them.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. Or rather, what I'm not going to say.
Put a pirate on.
No, my favorite is Freevee.
There. Perfect.
Shane H. Wilder said, doesn't Walmart own Voodoo?
I believe they do.
It's on Poodoo. So dumb. It's so dumb, but it's so funny. And I saw it like after the lights had already dimmed in the movie theater, and I just started cackling like a maniac.
Let's find out. Maybe it's Amazon who owns.
Joshua French said, funny thing is, my last name is Irish, not French, even though it's French. Seriously?
Voodoo was sold to Walmart in 2020. Fandango Media acquired Voodoo for an undisclosed amount.
But Fandango also owns Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Or is it the other way around?
Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes.
But who owns Fandango? What?
NBC, Universal, and Comcast.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. You just follow it down the line. Eventually you find out that the Murdochs and the Rothschilds own it at some point.
So if NBC Universal owns Fandango, which owns Rotten Tomatoes, what is the next Universal movie that's coming out? Is this why they've been doing so well?
I'm going to run cover because I love Universal.
Universal has been doing so well because
it's all a setup.
I'm turning into like
Charlie Day
right now. Yeah. V Wit said, I missed a lot this week. Sorry if I missed it. I've been busy. Put a girl on.
Well, thank you for catching up on it today. We appreciate that.
We forgive you. Red Snow said, put a chair on. There you go.
I did it even when I saw
We may not have a girl to put on, but we have a chair.
Yes.
Hope you like it. Shane H. Wilder said, Quibi actually holds the record for the shortest network existence at 6 months. Also, Freevee for the win. Thank you. I'm glad someone's on my team.
I find Freevee to be too many ads in comparison.
Well, that's kind of the point, right?
In comparison.
That's why it's free.
I found that there's too many ads on Freevee.
Thank you.
Roku TV is the place to go.
High Voltage 75 said, Mary, do you still bring loud food into the theater?
It wasn't too loud last night.
Well, now what I do instead is I just bring like my little sweet treat with me and an iced coffee.
That gets you through it?
Yeah, but I have dinner like before the movie.
That's okay.
So I don't have to like open a million different things.
Now to me it's become a ritual to get my fries at the theater.
Drunken fries.
My drunken fries.
And you went to Denny's after without ordering something from the Beetlejuice menu, you psychopath.
Yep, I just got a regular milkshake.
What is wrong with you?
Yep. Saving money. I'm saving money.
And I told you that there was a Beetlejuice burger.
Yep.
And you
I
were
looked
like,
at it and I was
how
like,
is it Beetlejuice though? It's just a burger. And I was like, there are 3 patties.
I can't finish it. I'm sorry.
3. There are 3. 3. So it's Beetlejuice.
Get it? Because you say the name 3 times.
Duh. Doy. Are we all caught up?
I think we're all caught up.
Okay.
Yep.
I just lost my mind a little bit.
People are still talking about the streaming services they use. I'm getting a lot of references to Pluto TV. Maybe I don't think I've ever actually tried to watch Pluto TV.
Who actually has that?
Maybe I will give that one a shot tonight.
You guys should all try PPTV. I think it's the best one. They have 24/7 airport bathroom cam on season 6 with ads.
Or what was that tweet the other day? It's like, here's this new Apple TV show. We spent $800 million on 6 episodes. Netflix.
We're on season 6 of Airport Bathroom Camp. Hope you enjoy it.
All right. If Pluto TV is a thing, why isn't Uranus TV a thing?
That's a great question.
Somebody should make... Somebody in the chat said it. After me, my friend. After me. We're both as equally immature. I'm just equally immature faster than that person. All right, chat. We should have put a poll up today about what's... Actually, you know what? Maybe like a last-minute poll while we do the...
I thought we already...
No, we didn't do a poll.
We didn't have a poll today.
No, I just asked people to let them know what streaming services they used for things. Yep.
What do you want to ask them?
Oh, I was gonna maybe I'll do it Monday. About what streaming services ad streaming services they use. And you're gonna be gone Monday and Tuesday.
Fair warning, I am going to be gone Monday and Tuesday next week, but the show goes on.
The show will go on. Do you know where can you tell people where you're gonna be? Does it matter?
I'll save it as a surprise.
Okay. All right. That's good. So he says Mary leaving.
No. Well, I am, but not now.
for 2 days. He'll be
yeah,
gone.
2 days.
Yep.
Just, enough time to get some milk and cigarettes.
Going to Russia for a couple of days.
I need to talk to my handlers. It's not a big deal. Stop making a big deal out of everything.
What do you think? It's like, why? And like I was saying, like on Thursday, we should have done an intro where you do like a hot mic where we accidentally go live early and we're all talking in Russian.
We joke about that a lot, but hopefully, knock on wood. I don't know if this is even real wood. That never happens. Joy W said, changed a career path and can't watch as often with my new schedule. Keep up with all the work, y'all. With all the work, y'all. Love. Big thank you to PCC, Cast Brew, and Timcast Co.
Well, hopefully the new job is good.
Sorry,
the new career path is good. And make sure you watch on the replay. If you can't check it out live, check it out later. Or do what I recommend is that, put the headphones surreptitiously in one ear and just listen anyways.
Yeah, just lie to your boss. Who cares?
Yeah, wear a beanie.
But good luck with your new job. Carnell said, Brett, now that you have canceled Netflix, how do you expect to watch their Mr. McMahon special? I thought you would have mentioned the trailer by now.
Yeah, it's a 6-part documentary about the rise and fall of Vince McMahon.
6 parts.
6
really?
parts. Well, he's got a very long career that spans like 4 gazillion years. So there's a lot to talk about. He's a fixture. There's a lot to talk about there. So
you're not gonna watch it?
Look, I'm not a huge fan of like documentaries. Like I don't watch any of the Dark Side of the Rings or anything like that. I don't want to think about the crappy side of these businesses. I want to think about the fun stuff.
I had to force you to watch Quiet on Set.
Yeah, and even
you're not a documentary guy.
When I was done, I was like, ugh. Like it just leaves you feeling depressed.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, prayers for safe travels, Mary. Thank you.
There you go. All right. Well, let's do some outros then, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday after all. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Please and thank you. Mary, where can they find you?
Yes, you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch the show. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok because we were banned on TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis. Maybe we go on Quibi. And on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We will see y'all then. Bye. Everyone.